we are learning C programming language, which is a first year computer science subject. So in C programming, we are learning many concepts like data types, starting from the basic statements to till the functions we have learned in my previous video lessons. So in continuation to that, in today's video lesson, I want to explain about parameter passing methods as well as recursive functions used in C language. So these are the two important questions for our university examination, as well as these are also important for the practical examination. So we will see what are the example programs and how it will work. Okay. So first we'll see what is the scope of a variable. First, what is a variable? A variable is a place which is allocated with some address, and they will be helping to perform some operations in a program. So same way, the variables are two types. We have discussed this already. So how the variables will be differed? Variables which are declared outside the main and variables which are declared inside the main. So what happens, ma'am? What is the difference? Right? We may get a question. What happens, ma'am, if they are declared outside or declared inside? It makes a difference. The variables which are declared outside the main are called global variables, and their scope will be throughout the function, throughout the program actually. The other side is the local variables. What is the meaning of local variables? Local to that function. So which function? We have two types of function. One is main function in our program, as well as we have different user-defined functions. We may have n number of user-defined functions. So a variable which is declared inside a user-defined program will be local to that program, and it will have the scope. That means the accessibility for that variable will be only within that function. The other case, the variables which are declared outside the main, that means outside the user-defined functions also. So those variables are global variables. They will be ready to serve for all the functions along with the main. They can be accessed in the main as well as they can be accessed in the user-defined functions. So that is the difference between local variables and global variables. Right? So with this, we'll move further. So that was the basic thing. So next is the types of parameters. So what are the parameters? We have learned in the previous video lesson. Parameters are nothing but the values, the number of values, as well as it can have the properties, maybe it can have the number of values as well as the number of the type of parameters. As we have discussed in the last class, the parameters can be of any kind of primitive data type. It can be either integer, it can be float, it can be character, or it can be double. Any kind of parameters can be there so that they can go into the function and they can access. So where do we write all these parameters? We will write it in the declaration, we will write in the function definition, we will write it in the function call. Is it right? We have seen this in the last class. So the parameters which are declared in the declaration part of the function, what do we declare in the declaration part? We declare two things. That is number of parameters and type of parameters in function declaration. So what does it mean? What it will do? It will tell to the compiler that I am going to use the number of parameters, how many number of parameters, and the type of parameters which are going to be used in my program. Okay, next case, where do we have again the parameters? Parameters will be having in the function call. So where do we have the function call? Function call can be placed in any place of the calling function. So we have seen the examples of main and called function. So from main we will call the function. So called function, calling function. So main will be the calling function, called function will be the user defined function. So in function call, we will pass the parameters. Parameters are nothing but I have explained in the last class, like it can be an input to the called function. Suppose if I am being a master, asking the helper to perform this operation. So what do? I will provide some parameters to him, and I will ask that person to perform the operation and send back the result. So whatever I give will be the parameter. So here comes two types of parameters again, actual parameters and formal parameters. So actual parameters means the master who is asking to perform some action, that means the calling function, will pass some parameters to the called function. So they are the actual parameters because the changes will be happening in the actual parameters. Because the master is sending the data to the helper, that means the calling function is sending the data to the called function, and the called function will be sending back the result to calling function. So whatever happens at the called function is not permanent. It just performs the data. That means at the function definition, we are not performing anything permanent. It takes the data from the calling function, performs, gives back the data. So let's see, parameters are the data values, that means the input values or some values that are passed from calling function to the called function, that means the master to the helper, caller to the called function, calling function, called function, main and user defined function. You can imagine like that also. So in C there are two types of parameters and they are as follows. One is actual parameter, another one is formal parameters. Actual parameters which resides in the function call, whereas formal parameters which resides in the function definition, because they don't have any change. They just act according to the function call. Okay, so let's see. So the actual parameters and the formal parameters. The actual parameters are the parameters that are specified in calling function. What I have told you. In function call, whatever we pass in function call, those parameters are called actual parameters. So this is an example I have written here. Add of a comma b. So I am passing a comma b. Otherwise I can send directly the numbers also, 10 and 20 or 2 and 3 or any number. So what are those two? Those two are the actual parameters because they are getting the change in the program. Okay, so next comes the formal parameters. Formal parameters are the parameters that are declared at called function. which are declared at call function. That means which are used at function definition. So this is the function definition for this addition function. So in this function definition, what I have done, as it is returning the addition of integers, it can be anything, but I have taken it as integer, add of integer x and integer y. So a and b are the actual parameters, whereas x and y are the formal parameters. They just act according to the parameters passed to it. So x will be replaced with a, y is replaced with b. That means the value of a is assigned to x, whereas the value of b is assigned to y. So with these two values, we will perform an operation here, any kind of operation. Just I have written here an addition of two numbers, but a function definition may include any kind of operation. As discussed earlier, we have talked about searching an element in a given list of elements. Out of 100 elements, you can search a given element, at which location you have the given element. Okay, so when a function gets executed, the copy of actual parameter values are copied into formal parameters, right? So here the a and b are copied into x and y, and the work will be done for x and y, but actually the changes will be made to a and b. So let's see further so that you can understand easily. So in C programming language, there are two methods to pass parameters, from calling function to called function. Calling function is the main function, whereas the called function is the user-defined function. Here, as we have discussed, it is an addition function. Same way, we can have any kind of called function, and they are as follows: two types. They are call by value and call by reference. Remember, these in some books, in some places, these are also called as pass by value, pass by reference also. Don't get confused with these two words. These are also called as parameter passing methods. The methods can be called as pass by value as well as pass by reference. So let's see into one by one. Call by value. So as the name indicates, call by value. When you pass the parameters, that means through function call, you will pass the parameters. So whenever you pass the parameters through function call, so the actual parameters will be copied into formal parameters. But when you pass the values to the formal parameters, the changes will not be reflected back to the actual parameters. That is the difficulty in call by value. But this is useful when you perform any work at the helper, that means the called function. Suppose if I have passed any value to you, and if anything happened at the helper place, so that will be okay at the helper, that means at the call function, but it will not be reflected back to me. Okay, let's see. So in call by value, the copy of actual parameter values are copied to formal parameters, and those formal parameters are used in call function. Actually, the same example, a comma b are passed to x and y, but the changes are done for x plus y. Okay, the changes made on the formal parameters do not affect the values of actual parameters. They do not make any change to the actual parameters. That means if they send back the data, then only it will change, but exactly at the location it will not change anything. So the changes made on the formal parameters does not affect the values of actual parameters. That means after the execution, control comes back to the calling function, the actual parameter values remains the same. That means whatever the changes occurred at the formal parameters, they will not reflect back to the actual parameters. So let's see. After seeing the example, you can understand better. So it's an example program. Hash include stdio.h, conio h. So void swap of integer comma integer. It is a swapping of two numbers. That means interchanging the numbers between two variables. So void, because as it does not want to return back anything, so the return type of this function is void, and the function name is swap. It has two parameters, that is both are integers, and it has two types of two parameters. Two parameters are of type integers. So followed by void main open integer number 1, number 2. So I have two parameters with me, number 1 with 10, number 2 with 20. So CLR SAR as usual to clear the screen, followed by printf. So I want to print, that means before calling the function, I have my own parameters. They are number 1 and number 2. So before swapping, number 1 I am printing onto the screen, and number 2 I am printing onto the screen. So after that, I am calling a function. So who is calling? Main is calling. Main function is calling function, whereas swap function is called function. So swap is called here with two parameters. What are the two parameters? Number 1 and number 2. So what are these two, number 1 and number 2? Are actual parameters. So actual parameters are passed then. So printf after swap, because you have swapped, you have called the function. So that means what happened? After this, that means your in F7 we have seen it. If time permits, I will show it again today. So after this, my control of execution starts from here. That is when we trace using F7. From here, 1, 2, 3, it goes like this. This statement will be executed. After that, it will call this function. Whenever this function is called, immediately the call goes, the control of execution moves to this place. So when it moves to this place, same A and B are copied here. That means number 1 is copied into A, number 2 is copied into B. Okay, so number 1 and number 2 are copied. Number 1 is copied into A, number 2 is copied into B. Okay, so I have taken a new variable, that is tempo here, temporary. That means a temporary variable. So it is local to this function. So these two variables are also local to this function. So temp at the temp, what we are doing? A is passed into temporary. So A is free. So B is passed to A. So the value of B is passed to A. Now B is free. So temp is passed to B. So what happened here? Through this function definition, A value is passed to temp and B value is passed to A. Again, the temporary value is passed to B. That means with 3 steps, I have interchanged the values of A and B. So what happened here? Number 1 and number 2 are interchanged in the form of A and B, because I just passed only A and B's. I have passed only the values. So after this, am I printing anything here? No. Am I returning back anything to the calling function, sorry? I'm not returning back anything to the calling function. Just I am performing some operation here. But actually for A and B, the values are interchanged. But it will not reflect with number 1 and number 2. Because I am not returning anything back and I am not actually changing the actual parameters. Only the formal parameters are interchanged. Number 1 and number 2 are copied into A and B. and A and B have interchanged themselves. Clear? So you can see the output. So after this, the control goes back here. So printf, after swap, number 1 will be printer. So as usual, if you have given 10 and 20, so your number 1 will be 10. Yeah, we have given already the values, right? Number 1 is 10, number 2 is 20. So it is 10 and 20 because it is performing the changes. It is working here, it is interchanging, but it is not sending back the data to the calling function. So as usual, after swap also number 1 will be 10, number 2 will be 20, get ch and close. So there is no use. Yeah, you can see the output. So before swap, number 1 and number 1 is 10, number 2 is 20. After swap, number 1 is 10, number 2 is 20. There is no change, right? So next is call by reference. Reference, otherwise we also call it as call by address, because here instead of passing the value, we pass the address of the parameters. So here we have to learn one more thing. Every place, that means we are talking it as A is a variable. So that A variable will be holding a place, it will have an address. Every variable will have an address. So that address will be copied into some other place. That place we call it as pointer. So pointer is again a variable which holds the address of another variable, right? So in call by reference, the memory location address of the actual parameters is copied to formal parameters. We just give the address of the actual parameters. For this, I can tell you an example also. When we scan the values, after printf, we write the scanf. So when we scan, we write address of A, address of B. What does it mean? When we read the values, we are just taking the values into the address locations directly. Address of A holds the address. That means that is the value of that memory location. Address of B is the value of that location. So you can just take the values and keep it in the address location. So in call by reference, the memory location is the address of the actual parameters is copied to the formal parameters. So this address is used to access the memory locations of the actual parameters in called function. So simply, if I have given my flat keys to some other person, if I have given my pen to that person, he can write his own values. That means the value is given to my neighbor. So that is just I am passing my pen. So he can write if I say anything. So he will write his own notes, but he will not return it back to me. So that is passing by value. But my location, my notebook is locked into my flat. But whereas in call by reference, I am directly giving the keys to that person. Where is my notes? Where is my pen? So what he will do, he will make changes directly into my notebook. The address is passed to him. That means I say my notebook is on my teapot. You can come and write it onto that. So he can come and make changes onto my notebook. So this address is used to access the memory locations of the actual parameters. Actual parameters are nothing but I am the calling function. So the values of mine in call function. So the call function will be the other function. So they can make exactly the changes in the actual parameters because they have the access of address. Directly they can make changes in the address. So in this method of parameter passing, the formal parameters must be pointer variables. Pointers are nothing but which holds the address of another variables. So the formal parameters must be the pointer variables here, because it must hold the address, because we are not passing the value, we are just directly giving the addresses. Okay, the addresses can be held only with the pointer variables. So that means in this parameter passing technique, the pointer variables must be there for formal parameters. Okay, the formal parameters must hold the address. Okay. So in call by reference, the address of the actual parameters is passed to the call function and is received by the formal parameters using pointers. So the address is passed to the formal parameters, directly giving the keys to them. You come and do any work at my home, simply. So that means the work will be done. Okay, passing the address, that means passing the location, telling to them that the variable is here and here. So the actual parameters are nothing but the calling function is just passing the address of the variables, address of the parameters. So the called function will make changes at the location itself. So whenever we use these formal parameters in call function, they directly access the memory locations of actual parameters. They directly access the actual parameters. So the changes made on the formal parameters affects the values of actual parameters. Whatever they make changes in the formal parameters, they directly make changes into the actual parameters. Right? That is the difference between call by value and call by reference. So it's an example program. So listen here, stdio.h, as usual we know, conio, it's a common thing. So here, function declaration, listen here. So it is not returning anything. So void swap, but here 2 integers, 2 variables I'm going to use. So 2 types, 2, but the new symbols we are able to see here, it indicates it's a pointer variables. We said that formal parameters must be of type pointer variables because it must hold the address. We are giving the address to the called function. So the called function will be, that means the function definition must be able to hold the address which you are passing. So that means my formal parameters must be able to hold the address which is you are passing. So the formal parameters must be in the form of pointer variables. For that reason, pointers will be represented with asterisk symbol. Right? 2 pointers. That means here we are using integer pointers. 2 types of data types we are using. Both are of type integer pointers. So it's a common thing. Next, void main. I am passing 2 parameters, number 1 and number 2, CLR, SCR. Before swap, commonly, before swap I am writing number 1 which is 10, number 2 which is 20. So swap. So in swap what I am doing, I am calling a function. I am passing the parameters. What I am passing? I am passing address of number 1, that means the key for number 1 and the key for number 2. This is my room, this is my room. You go and make changes over there. Right? So my control of execution moves here. So here, after coming here, I have the formal parameters. A and B are the formal parameters. So what do we have here? I have 2 pointer variables. 2 pointer variables. Pointers is another big topic in your C language and it is very important topic again. So we learn further in depth of pointers. Okay. Till now you understand when address is passed. So the pointer variable can hold the address of that location. So star A can hold the address of that location. Star B can hold the address of that location. That means it is ready with the keys. So when you go inside, you are taking another variable. So you are passing the value at this location. So value at this location is passed to this location and value at this location is passed to this location. And anyway, A is at temporary, so A is passed to B. So what happened here? With the addresses, that means along with the keys, along with the addresses, that means you have interchanged the data. So here also you can see you are not passing anything back. You have directly had the address and you have made changes at the address. So the swapping is done. So the control of execution goes back here, printf. After swap, number 1 will be 20, number 2 will be 10, because 10 and 20 will be swapped. Right? So 10 is become 20, 20 is become 10. Hope you have understood. So this is an output. So before swap, number 1 is 10, number 2 is 20. After swap, number 1 is 20, number 2 is 10. Because by taking the addresses with in hand, they have exchanged the data. Directly at the location, it has been changed. Hope you are clear with parameter passing methods. Okay, so we'll move further with the recursive functions. Recursion means calling itself, calling the same function. We are talking about function calls, right? So what is the function call do? It calls a function. A previous example which I have told you, if there is a 15 lines of code for searching an element in a given array, I mean in a given set of elements. So every time you are not required to write the 15 lines of code. You can call the function with only a single line. So here comes a question, if the single line can call the function itself. If a function calls the function itself, then that function is called a recursion function. So you can ask me, how is it possible, ma'am? It is possible. Factorial of 5. If you want to perform a factorial of 5, suppose any number factorial. So if you want to find factorial of any number, so you can write, suppose if you want to write factorial of 5. So 5 factorial can be written as 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So can I write it as 5 into 4 factorial? Yes. Again I can replace 4 factorial as 4 into 3 factorial. Yes. I can replace 3 with 3 into 2 factorial. Yes. Again 2 factorial can be replaced as 2 into 1 factorial. And anyway we know 1 factorial is nothing but 1. Factorial of 0 or factorial of 1 is 1. So calling the same function. So for 5 factorial, I am calling it as 5 into factorial of some other number. And again for that number, and I am calling the same function again. So calling the same function into the same function is called a recursion. Simply the definition you can see here. A function called by itself is called recursive function. A best example what we can explain here is factorial of a given number. So when a function is called by itself, the first call remains under execution till the last call gets invoked, because the same example what we have discussed here, 5 factorial, if I want to find the 5 factorial, I have to write 5 into 4 factorial. So I cannot perform 5 into 4 factorial. I have to execute 4 factorial. 4 factorial can be replaced as 4 into 3 factorial. Then 3 factorial can be replaced as 3 into 2 factorial. 2 factorial can be replaced as 2 into 1 factorial. So until I finish all the calls, I cannot execute the first statement. That is what he has given. When a function is called by itself, the first call remains under execution. It will be under execution till the last call gets invoked. Okay, every time when a function call is invoked, the function returns the execution control to the previous function call wherever it has started its execution. That means 5 into 4 factorial. So it goes back. 4 factorial is called, it goes back to 4. 4 into 3 factorial, right? Same way. So this is an example program. So factorial of int, for only one number we are writing. So only one integer. So it is a function declaration, right? So integer main, fact and n. So fact is the result. Fact is a variable used for writing a result. Here factorial is the function name, whereas it is used for writing the result. Okay. So printf, enter any positive integer to which you want to find the factorial. So read the number. Okay. So factorial is stored with factorial of n. So you are calling a function n, factorial of n. So it is factorial of 5. So whenever you call this, the control of execution moves to this function definition. So what is it doing? It is returning integer, factorial of a number. So it is a function name, and it is my here actual parameter and formal parameter both are same. So coming into integer temp and another variable, I have taken an example. If n equals to 0 or n equals to 1, return 1. That means if for a factorial of 0 or 1, it is 1. So return 1. Else make temp equals 2. That means the result equals 2. If you are calling it as 5, 5 into factorial of 4. So you are calling it again. So see, the control of execution goes back to here itself. It is not going to the calling function. So you are calling the same function again. So you are calling this again. So instead of n here, you are passing n minus 1. Okay. So you are calling this. So it replaces with n into this n minus 1 into factorial of n minus 2. Right? And the control of execution again goes back here until you goes with n value equals to 0 or 1. It continues its control of execution. Till that time your first call is under execution, second call under execution, and last call also will be under execution. Okay, so you are returning the temporary variable. So factorial of 5, enter any positive integer. So factorial of 5, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, it's a 120. So hope you have enjoyed this class. Just it's an end of theory class. I just want to show you only the factorial of a number with an execution. Okay. So let's continue with our practical session. So hash include stdio dot h hash include conio dot h integer, as I want my return value as integer, factorial of a number. So factorial of int. So it is my declaration. So after this, I will write my main function. Integer, I am just using f here, f and n. So printf, enter any number to which you want to perform the factorial. Scanf, read the values, percentile d, comma, address of n. Right? So here f equals to factorial of what is the number you are passing? Actual parameter n. So here you can just print the output. Factorial of a number, which is a percentile d. You can close, and where do you get? From f you can get it. Get ch, close the main. So here you have to write function definition of integer factorial. So what are the parameters you are using? You are directly using n here. Same number you can use formal and actual parameters. Here I am using some other variable temp. Otherwise I can write directly if n is equivalent to 0 or n is equivalent to 1, return 1. Yeah, this 1 is written to this f, right? Else return n into factorial of n into factorial of n minus 1. Close the function. So you can save it. Alt F9 for compilation. No errors. Control F9 for execution. Enter any number. I am giving directly the 5. So factorial of a number, factorial of 5 is a 120. But when you go with F7, so void main, enter any number, take the number. So see, it is asking for the number. So 5, okay, enter. So it is going with control of execution. Here you have to see. So F7. So next, the control of execution directly moved to function definition. Inside this, it is checking whether the given number, actually we have given the number as 5. It is checking whether the given number is 0 or 1. No. So it comes to else part. So it is returning 5 into factorial of 4. So next, you please see here. Again, the control of execution goes back to the same function definition. So it is calling again. So it is checking whether the number, now the number is equivalent to 0 or 1. No, actually my number is 4 now. So it goes to else part again. Right here, it is calling 5 is already there, and now 4, and now I am calling it as factorial of 3. So the control goes back to this place. So it is 3. So followed by, it checks again whether my number is equal to 0 or 1. No, my number is 3. So it goes with else part. Now my number is 2. It checks. No. Comes out and calls again. No, it goes with factorial again. So now it is 1. It returns 1. So now it counts. It has written 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So the result is, it has came out. So the result is came out. Yeah, source modifier. So Alt F9, Control F9. So enter any number. So if you have given 7, sorry, it is giving a wrong result. Alt F9, Control F9. So if you give 5, it is giving the result as 120. So hope you have enjoyed this class. Right? We'll meet in the next class with some more information for learning C language. Thank you for watching.